No. They just came up. I can't hear you. It's just a lot of action going on, ma'am, that I stepped out. Okay, as soon as I came up here, they came outside. I mean, they pulled up over here. So what I believe, since it is criminal to do what they're doing, they stage reason. I just came to a more private location. They stage reasoning to be in my environments, stalking. So in the past, they would actually come up to me. I had done nothing wrong and lie and slander to take my freedom. Like they did at Red Roof Inn. They came on their own, tried to set me up with mental illness. When they saw I was recording, they retracted on that and listed Red Roof Inn into blatant lies to take my freedom and get me out that hotel room. So that's how you get 20 false arrests. They were actually coming up to me, violating me and handcuffing me and hauling me off. And like I said, on some of those occasions, I did not know if I'd live through it, because they start looking around for witnesses and I didn't know if they were going to shoot me or what they were going to do. And when I got handcuffed, I was actually relieved that I still had my life. You can say that this is paranoia, but we've already been through this. Look at the videos. Let me go ask them, and they're going to cover for crimes. I think they're stalking. They're just walking around. No suspect. It won't get bigger. Should I go over there and try to incriminate them? They're just standing around like they've been doing years. Stalking's a crime. Let's go over there. This has to end. Hello, are you guys on the call? Because I could use help by police. Are you on the call?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, okay, because I don't see anyone else, just police. I've been stopped for a long time, and I haven't had trouble getting out of it. I haven't had a call from an investigator.
Stalking, you said?
Yes.
Okay. But you've already got a report made?
No, I haven't had a call from an investigator. I don't know what's going on, and I've been getting stopped.
Well, you wouldn't get a call if you didn't already have a report made. So that's the only way the investigators would call you.
So how do I get an investigator?
Go down the street. They ask to speak to investigations. You got a report number?
I don't know the report number. I just know that I've made a lot of reports that haven't been investigated.
Okay. That's going to be your best avenue is contact East Division down the street. Okay? Ask to speak to investigations. You're going to need to find your report number.
Okay, I have a lot of reports. How do I get a protection order?
Any of them. That you have to do through the DA's office.
Yeah, you have to go to the court system for that.
That's the only way? I thought that they said that you can go through Justice of the Peace too?
No.
Okay, I just record all interaction with the police department. Okay. I appreciate you guys help. I don't see any suspects or anything.
Only other way that we assist in protection orders is say like if it's a report of family violence.
It is.
And that's once you do that report, there should be a package.
Well, I don't know if it's considered, ma'am, I'm talking to the police. Just 1 second, okay? I'm almost done. Okay, so it's a stalker that I had a relationship with online and met a couple times in person.
Okay.
So what is that considered? I haven't been able to get. I want to report to the police all domestic violence organizations scheme to deprive me of services. I have never made that report before.
You haven't made a report at all?
No, I have a YouTube channel, and you can see where Janisa was sabotaging assistants, and multiple other locations. I like to report that.
Then your step will have to be to make an initial report. You won't get an investigator.
I know. I want to make the report.
Okay, right now we're dealing with this.
Okay, I'll be standing outside right there. Can we talk after that? Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Hello?
Hi, this is Janisa again. I was just letting you know that Dr. Yahaki will be giving you a call in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Have a good day.
you too. There was no suspect. I don't want to record them. They're just standing around. 3 police. I'm going to record it. There's no suspect. They're watching me record. One's leaving. They didn't do anything. It's another one leaving that didn't do anything. So what I believe is happening once again, see, stalking someone and using intimidation tactics and doing all this is criminal. So you stage a purpose and you enlist civilians in your crimes and help like at Red Roof. She's supposed to help me. Let's see how this goes. Stalkers that are committing crimes on my environment don't typically help with assist or assist. They are used to cover up. They're already being caught in criminal activity. If they're on my abuser's payroll, there's no way that they can do anything to protect me from him because that's their main objective is to protect him. Okay? They call someone in. He's pointing at me. Now, why is it so hard if they're not racking up felonies just to do law enforcement and take a report? Why do all these people have to be enlisted and someone has to be called? It's probably a supervisor. Let's see how this goes. Okay, he's leaving. I think. The one that looked like it was a supervisor that pointed towards me. In the car. I thought you were going to help me, sir. I thought you were going to help me. I'm sorry? Oh, okay. He said he had to pull over here. He had to clear the driveway. I'm sorry. What's your name? Keys?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have your badge number?
5002.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So what's going on? I'm in a domestic violence crisis. All domestic violence organizations will not help me. I think my abuser's controlling them. The reason being is because there was a strange experience at New Beginnings, and it cost me my freedom. And there's been false statements that were made about me all over, and false statements in computer systems, things that didn't happen. For example, I went to New Beginnings in Plano. They had a different abuser in their system, and they had that I had a criminal trespass at that location, and I didn't. But they did some kind of way. They had a criminal trespass at the Garland location, and I didn't have a criminal trespass there. And whatever miscommunication that was cost me my freedom. But what I want to do, can you imagine how terrifying that is if your abuser's controlling domestic violence organizations and places that help you flee from an abuser? Can you imagine how that would feel?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So I have been handcuffed trying to report him, and I don't know clearly what was the statements that were made to keep me from justice and protection against this man.
Okay, first, who is he?
His name is Jason Gardner.
Jason Gardner.
He's in Baton Rouge. Well, what happened was I don't know how I quite met him because my life has been kind of strange. But I had a domestic violence, I had a online relationship with him and saw him a couple times in person. So when I ended the online relationship, a whole army of people lied on me, people from CPS, police. I mean, it was lies all over the place. Just blatant lies. And I even had lies from family members. So, but what I wanted to concentrate on the most is get an investigation after 6 years of why all domestic violence organizations lie and tell me they're full when they're not, and deprive me of any assistance, any education, advocacy, or anything to flee the abuse. So I went to One Safe Place. They sabotaged the systems and were rude. And when you're going through a crisis, you need support. Yeah. They refused to be that and didn't follow protocol. So someone lied and I got detained. Blatant lies. I don't know why the police was there. They didn't really give me a lot of information on why they were there in the beginning. But later on, I was detained and mistreated when I was in the hospital. Blatant lies in the hospital. And then on a lot of these occasions, I think my abuser was setting them up to steal from me because I had multiple thefts. I had one at Parkland. I had one at JPS. And then people threaten me when I'm in the hospital and in jail. When I have had false statements made to put me in jail. And I get mistreated in jail. They don't let me go to court. I get threatened. So can we do it? Can it get investigated?
What happened like today or prior to today? Besides you said this has been going for 6 years, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened today is you said he's stalking you. Is he still stalking you?
Yeah, my phone's hacked. You trying to help, sir? My phone's hacked.
He's my partner.
Oh, okay.
I was just finishing up.
Oh, okay. My phone's hacked and there's interference with child custody crimes. I told the South Central Patrol, I think her name was Gooding, that I believe he committed crimes to keep me away from 2 children. And it just like over 100 and something reports haven't been investigated.
Does he have your children or?
No, it's a stalker has very powerful online that has interrupted me getting all help to flee him. And in addition to that, are committing crimes by an army full of people to keep me away from my children. If people that know me know that I don't play games with my children. So this is very devastating.
So I have a question for you. Did he already get your info and all that stuff? Yeah. So look, we'll get your info. We'll document everything that you told us. We'll give you an incident number. So you
Are they investigated incident numbers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That means all numbers that we
especially
have.
depending what it is. Like you're saying, there's
Stalking,
family violence, all the different units, especially as it pertains to them, they'll look through every case or every instance that would tag with them. That way they can be up to date.
Your body cam on?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks it's red, black, blinking means it's on. Okay.
That way they can look over any incidents because we put notes in it, and they can read over it if they feel that something should be done.
Yeah, because everything has changed since I've been in my domestic abuse crisis. So now they decide when they're going to do law enforcement, and they haven't done it. So I'm trying to see why all of a sudden the police officer can make a decision on what they want to investigate. If it's stalking, I didn't think that they had a choice. Interference with child custody, or these are felony crimes that have had no consequences, and the police department repetitively wants to just decide what they will investigate, and they haven't been getting investigated.
When was the last time that you had contact with police in reference to the stalking?
Well, they haven't really. They keep protecting my stalker. So,
when's the last time do you know of that?
Well, what I'm reporting today is that my stalker's controlling my environments. Okay. That he is sabotaging all ability for a support system and to flee abuse. Okay. I don't know how he's doing it, but each time there's a false statement made and police show up to enforce crimes. Okay. So I don't know what the false statements are, like the false statements to keep me away from children.
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it's interference with child custody with 2 children. Some kind of way I fell through the cracks when I was kept away from my son. I was tormented because he was homeless, going from couch to couch. Which I had lied on me and slandered in my environment. 4-bedroom place that I was staying in, I lost that in an arrest. So all this slander and making false statements is criminal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you write down the word? Yeah. Do you have your ID or anything? I get your information.
Okay. Okay, 1 minute.
But one of the things you can do, say like when you get it and it's violated, you document that by recording a journal, picture, and you present that to the court and say, listen, I have this place, he was served, he contacted me, this is him contacting me, and then
it doesn't work that way. He has people do the dirty work for him.
Even through third person.
Okay.
Anything when it restricts contact with you, that includes first person contact, third person contact, social media, even a letter.
Yeah.
Handwritten letter.
Okay.
Right?
So that's another thing I'm concerned about. I have a YouTube channel and I like to give it to you with evidence. Okay. And on my YouTube channel, it's flooded with people in the comments that are blatantly lying and a lot of the comments are sadistic, and a lot of it is harassment too, and cyberbullying. And I reported it, and like I said, a lot of things that I report has slipped through the cracks. So one of them which concerns me, had my abuser's video, half of the video, because in the video I stated that I did not want to be at his business. I was getting harassed, and a lot of people were lying on me all over the place, taking my freedom and kids. I reported that, and
Is this your good address, Ms. Clark?
So on his channel, it was someone with a video, half of the video, because like I was stated on the video that I didn't want to be at his business. I was trying to figure out what was going on. So anyway, she had that video on her channel, and she had me at CPS, which shows obvious stalking, because she uploaded the video, a picture of me at CPS, and can you imagine how one would feel that you think that this is your stalker cyberbullying site, and it's open stalking with them uploading a video with a picture of me at CPS.
What's your YouTube channel name? I can add that.
This is how you get a restraining order? You asked for...
Yes, no, on the back he told me to give you the address where you can go and get that restraining order.
This is what the incident number is going to be. Did I write this down right? Kenya Clark Peace?
You did.
Okay. What's a good phone number for you, Ms.
So that 4222 is our non-emergency number.
Okay.
It's because they changed, so I had to scratch it off because the city doesn't want to buy new cards until we finish the these. So.
Okay. Well, he's also hacked my phone, and I haven't been able to get any investigation, and the people are passing the buck.
If you've already made a report...
Can I complete what I'm saying, please? So people are passing the buck. My provider's saying tell the police, and the police is telling me to tell my provider. But hacking a phone happens to be a crime, and I've been forced to endure this 6 years. All my phones, all my devices, like 30 or 40.
Well, I was going to say,
I've been robbed and they've taken my phone. My phone has been missing around shelter staff.
Go ahead. Then.
And I don't know why so many people would steal phones. They also stole a battery pack because I record a lot of chaos. So when they steal my phones, that's devastating. My phone is shut off in emergencies. I think I'm talking to scammers. 911 has hung up in my face to cover for crimes. Do you think that's okay? Can you tell me about spoofing calls? How in the world am I calling 911 and in the middle of telling them about a crime and being threatened, and they hang up and cover for it? Are you familiar with how spoofing calls works?
On this phone, okay, go ahead and keep this, but if you can, see if you can get an old school flip phone, then use that as a means of communication.
I've already had one of those, and it was still the same madness going on.
Okay. But then only way around that, because it is a crime to hack into someone's computing device.
You know why they would refuse investigation, and I've made dozens of reports? Why has an investigator has never? That's a red flag. It's happening. Because you would check if someone has commuted their phone was hacked for 6 years and no one has ever called them. That's a red flag. It's really going on, because if someone's reporting a crime, it's investigation, and then it's ruled out if it's not really happening. But they won't even investigate my hacked phone.
And that's why I'm gonna note everything down.
Okay.
Anytime that happens on your phone, it starts acting weird or starts making random phone calls, notate that on a physical notepad instead of in here, because if he's accessing your phone, he can delete those. So
the way I do it, it's not deleted. I have had it deleted in the past. You're absolutely right.
I'll still suggest to get a physical, like a notepad. I'm just old school like that with a notepad.
I like to have the videos for evidence, but I'll do the notepad in addition to this, especially the video diary.
Especially from this contact on, or say like in a week, and it happens, make sure you notate that, and then if you can contact, these are the days this has took place, because then they can still take a report and then contact you and say, listen, we were told this took place on these days, it'll happen into her phone.
Okay.
Can you do something in your system to verify someone accessing her account outside from where she's at right now?
Well, what I'm getting a lot of understanding on is, what will the police do to protect me?
From right now, all we can do is investigate and look into it.
Okay.
As it comes to making arrests, until we...
It hasn't been investigated for 6 years.
That's what I'm saying. Until we collect the evidence and do a thorough investigation, we can't really just make an arrest right away.
Oh, no, I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking for an avenue to get law enforcement and investigation. Okay. So what I'm saying, my statements are proven that they're actually going on.
Okay. All right.
So what did he give you? I see something written down.
No, he can refer that. So he put this all in the notes.
Okay. Did I get my card back?
I gave you one already.
Oh, no, my ID.
That address, okay.
Okay, I got that. I've been making a journal for years. I'm just worried about the law enforcement side of it to get an investigation.
Oh, no, you're fine. Listen, once they start looking into it, a detective might reach out to you. That's why I got your phone number, because he still has to do his portion. He has to look further.
Well, let me tell you what I think. I think that people in my environment, some illegal activities going on. And I think police are covering for my stalker, taking bribes. I think that I'm getting stopped, and people are the police that I flag down are always covering for crimes. If someone is reporting felonies, why have for 6 years is it always might, if they do it? If they want to report your son getting hit with a car.
I want you to hear
if they want to report stalking and someone felonies left and right.
Clark,
if they want to investigate 20 false arrests.
Let me explain.
Because the thing is, we can't make the investigators...
Yeah, they're enforcing crimes. Okay.
I can't make them...
I think I don't have my...
Distractions. 6 years of it.
So ultimately...
I'm not being heard. Why for 6 years is if police want to investigate.
Why are we here talking to you if you're not being heard? We're giving you...
I'm not being heard about I haven't had law enforcement, and why is it if for 6 years?
That's what I'm
You've already explained that to me.
I think I'm just giving you, this is part of my report. If police are committing crimes, enforcing that I say an abuse, that's criminal. I'm sorry that you're police, but you're not doing your job. You've let me suffer a lot of abuse for 6 years, 2 kids taken out of criminal activity, and it's always if we want to investigate wrecked up felonies for 6 years.
We can't make the investigator call. All we can do is take the report.
Why would the investigator not call me and commit felonies? That's a crime.
I can't do nothing.
So why don't you go to internal affairs if they decide not to report it?
I can give you a card so you can.
If they decide not to investigate it, why don't you? I thought if you witness criminal activity, you had to do something regarding it and just not let someone sit in it.
I've talked to you.
Okay. Well, where's your card? And if they don't investigate it, I'll get back with you. Then you can do a report.
That card we gave you, that's our card. I can give you a card for attorney affairs if you want to.
No, I want you to be a witness that someone is deliberately denying me of law enforcement, which is federal crimes. Because if all that has happened, why would they if?
Because again, I can't make them call you.
I think that people are committing crimes and racking up felonies and doing all this stuff and nothing's done. I think that people are covering for my abuser and letting him rack up felonies with no consequences.
Clark, and I understand that, we heard your side. We're going to document. We gave you a report.
But I don't understand why it's if felonies are being committed.
We have no reason to further talk to you at this point.
Why would you? I'm not being heard. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what to do when police choose to abuse their power. I don't know what to do when police. I want to know if police are committing crimes. What do I do?
But you have the report number, Ms. Clark, and that's how much as I can do as a patrol officer. Okay.
I want to know if police are committing crimes. Why can't you be a witness? And if there's hit and runs and all of this.
So you take care. Hopefully they do, but again, I can't make them do what they don't.
It's a red flag.
All right. Take care.
At least they used to handcuff and haul me off. I had to get punished for making reports. I'm sorry?
You need to ask you, that is not man that they have in there doing.
I don't know what you're saying, sir.
Man. Is it man?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
I get all kind of interruptions and crazy. At least you're not threatening me.
Oh, no, we want to help you.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm asking you. If that's man that we want to know that way we can help get him out.
Man.
If that's who it was.
Oh, no.
They must have mistaken help for somebody else, but we were going to help.
Okay, thank you. No, police are behind my abuse and they come stalk and enlist people in crimes, blatant lies to conceal criminal activity they're a part of. See, my abuser didn't want me to catch the bus, so they had this gang stalker blatantly lie on me and then bullied me and mistreated me and kept me from being on the property to catch the bus. So I reported all these felonies to the police and they keep saying if it's investigated for 6 years. So this is probably going to be tomorrow before this uploads. They won't do law enforcement. 591. But what you're witnessing, that's felonies. I'm not being heard. This is criminal. If I'm reporting felonies, you can't say if it's investigated. You have to investigate felonies. It's a red flag that everything I have communicated is true. If I'm mentally ill, you'll investigate it and rule it out. No, they won't investigate. They keep covering for it. Using law enforcement to stalk has to be federal charges. Why are all the people in my environments covering for crimes? Right here. Stalking's a crime. So what is all the stalking for? They do things that I can't communicate. It's not realistic. So they need to know second for second what's going on so they can set up the chaos that I go through that I can't talk about. It's time for me to cross the street. Now they're coming this way. They were parked right over there. That's one of the things I can't talk about. Crossing the street, weird things. They waited until I crossed the street and then came. So I don't know if I made clear what was going on. When it was time for me to cross the street, then the police came out. So I have to wait on the police to, never mind. Same situation. I just got finished talking to the police. Oh, you forgot about the 2 children that were taken away from me in corruption? I'm getting stalked with 20 false arrests. My phone hacked. You forgot about all that?
I didn't know what you had gone to the police for today, so that's why I was asking.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
I didn't know what specifically you were going to the police for today, so that's why I asked.
Oh yeah, I'm still going through the same crisis. My phone's hacked. No one has had accountability for lying and blatantly lied and taking my freedom 20 times, taking 2 kids away in corruption, cyberbullying, blatant lies, the conspiracy to violate rights, army full of people to help him get away with crimes and inside his psychological abuse and set up and cover up. hit and runs that are being unaddressed. No one has accountability for hit and runs. Child abuse not investigated. False reports. Threatened in
Okay,
hospitals and in jail.
what happened with the police today?
I was just trying to get accountability for all the insanity. I don't think that, if you have a problem with your phone, you can go to your provider. The police don't interrupt you or anyone else that I've ever heard in life. I think I've never heard of a woman being violated, reporting things going on with her phone and forced to leave. Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I've heard it from you.
Besides me.
I'm not sure what's going on with the situation, but I was calling for, because these are medication appointments.
Okay, so you're my psychologist and you want to disregard 20 false arrests and 2 kids taken away in corruption. Do you think that would be a healthy, situation if that doesn't disturb you? If you condone it?
There are things that are in my control, and there are things that are out of my control.
But as a therapist, I thought that, that you should have compassion and kind of direct me towards accountability and helping me see that I have value and don't deserve for people with power to get away with all these felonies that they haven't had accountability for, and not condone it. Because when we talk, you want someone that has compassion and don't condone 20 false arrests and 2 kids taken away out of corruption. You want someone to say, yeah, that is horrible, but not condone it, especially in the mental health realm.
Miss Kiana, you keep talking over me, so I'm not able to say what I need to say.
This is a pattern, ma'am, of accomplices. Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
What I was going to say is there are things that I can control, there are things that I cannot control. What my role is in my job is a medication management specialist, and that's what I'm here for you for. In terms of the things that I cannot control, I have done what I can in order to try to help you out. The thing that we talked about last visit is you told me that there are multiple agencies who are violating you, and so you had asked me to place a report, which I did. I placed a report to Adult Protective Services saying that what you had reported.
Did you give them my number? I haven't had a call from them. How do I intercept that police enforce crimes in all my environments and cover up? APS, CPS, and an army full of people cover for crimes and are sadistic and did not provide me of support and compassion and disregard me and my extreme events I experienced, disregard it and change the topic like they're narcissistic. But this is in too many environments. So I don't think mental health providers should be abusive and disregard my value. Disregarding someone is a form of psychological abuse. And for an army full of people to be enlisted to do so has to be criminal. So I just don't understand why I go to mental health providers and tell them about my trauma and they disregard me. And he have even lied and tried to say that I was mentally ill for things that were actually happening. And they had evidence was happening. These are crimes. It's just not, I just want to cover for them. I just don't want to talk about it. That it's not treating me like you would treat someone else in my situation in a conspiracy. It's criminal. So do you have a case number for APS? You said you would get back to me with it regarding that, and you didn't. And all providers in mental health have been bullies. Just about.
Can I have an input as well? I told you what I was going to do.
You told me that you were going to give me the information and you were going to give me show where you did it, and I'm asking for a case number now.
Yana, can I please finish, or will you keep talking over me?
This is a form of gaslighting and narcissistic abuse, ma'am. I'll ask you about the case number.
It's not narcissistic abuse. This is not gaslighting. I will provide you the case number if you can allow me to finish.
Okay, ma'am. I don't have rights. Go ahead.
What I told you I would do at the last visit is I would place a report with the concerns that you had mentioned. That is something I follow through on. In terms of what they do from that point on, I do not have control over. The number that I reported.
I don't understand how that's relevant, ma'am. It's like a crime is being set up. Why would it be relevant if they are not doing anything? Then you're a witness that there's a conspiracy to violate my rights. If you make a report of abuse and they ignore it, then you're a witness that someone is being targeted and railroaded and violated. And just to sit and say, I've done my part by reporting it, well, what they decide to do with it, if they decide not to investigate it, well, you just have to sit in it another 6 years. That's a red flag that crimes are being committed. That police just told me if they decide. No, they don't have a choice. It's criminal not to. But all the parties, conspirators tell me if they decide to do law enforcement, if they decide to investigate abuse. No. If FBI was involved, these are charges. They don't have a choice. So it's a lot of miscommunications with a lot of people of power and in different situations that are abusing their power, and they think in their mind, which is incorrect, that you can choose to do law enforcement. You can choose to do investigations.
Like I said, I do not have control over what these other agencies do.
But if you do a
What I have
report and they
control
haven't called
over
me, ma'am, if you did a report and they haven't called me, what is your responsibility if you're witnessing me get targeted and railroaded? You just let me sit in it? Don't you advocate instead of blaming someone for talking when the conversation is redirected away from that question?
there
Don't
is
you
only
think that
so
if
much
you're
I can
really,
do.
ethical, that you would try to do something and have some kind of case manager, you contact a case manager or something to get this to end?
Yeah, this is where we have differences in opinion. You have your opinions, I have my opinions, and I know what I can do and what's out of my control. What is out of my control is what these agencies do. I cannot continue to report the same thing
Well, I
over
thought
and
it was
over and
unusual, ma'am, that you said that if they decide what they do with it at that point, you've already reported it. I'm sorry, what did you say the case number was?
Case number is 742-94749.
Yeah, I think that someone is just going to have to get charges to interrupt this conspiracy. There's been no accountability. So they've been able to get away. If I have hundreds of reports that aren't getting investigated, that's over 100 felonies. If there's a conspiracy, like I think it is, to keep me from my rights and services, to flee this abuse and cover up and corruption, that's also criminal. So I'm just doing what I have to do to expose the conspiracy, which is federal charges. Okay, ma'am, but I assume that you want to talk about my medication and that kind of thing after you've done the report, and you can't guarantee that they'll investigate it. That it's out of your control
Yes,
on what they do with it from that point.
that's right. That is my role
Well, in
as
the good
part of
world,
this.
it's unfortunate that people have to keep saying that, because in the good world, they investigate crimes. But people in my environment seems to think that they have a choice. Okay, ma'am. So back to what we're doing today with this call for the medication and the mental health.
Yes, that's what we're here for. That's what I'm calling for, is the
Okay.
mental health coach. Have you been able to get your Seroquel?
Yes.
Have you been taking it?
Yes.
Is it helping you?
Yes. It helps
What
me
is it
sleep.
helping you with?
It helps
Help
me
you with
sleep.
sleeping?
And
How
I
many
guess it
hours a
helps
night?
with the trauma of being deprived of support, advocacy, and compassion to deal with the torment that I'm going through by an army full of people, disregarding
And
my
so,
experience, even though it's extreme, of the severity of it. So it helps
are
me
you
deal
still
with knowing that I'm having to endure this 6 years, with no consequences for the people that choose to be a part of my abuse.
okay? How many hours are you sleeping with the Seroquel?
I'm sorry?
How many hours are you sleeping with the Seroquel?
Probably about 8.
Good. How are you doing with self-care?
I'm fine.
Good. Are you keeping up with showering on a regular basis and
Yes.
brushing your teeth?
Yes.
Okay, good. How about in terms of meals? How many meals a day are we eating?
3.
Good. That's good. Well, okay. Have you had any unusual experiences, any hallucinations, hearing things, or seeing things that other people can't hear or see?
I'm sorry?
Have you had any unusual experiences, any hallucinations, like seeing things or hearing things that other people can't see or hear?
No.
Hear or see?
No.
Okay, good. Any issues with anger or lashing out at people?
No.
Good. Any recent suicidal or homicidal thoughts?
No.
Good. One of the things that's really important is to go ahead and recheck your blood count. because the last time that we checked, your white blood cells were low. Would you be able to stop by a lab, like today to get another blood count check?
I may be able to do it Monday.
Okay. Your mind on, good things or to help?
Well, what I try to do, because who would want to sit in all this madness? So what I do is I'm advocating for myself, and I did a campaign a long time ago, and I wrote letters all over. I had about like a 60, 70 stamps, and I wrote all over the United States and did a campaign, got on blogs, and gave this address. So then they wouldn't deliver me mail. Well, I had problems with mail delivery, which is a felony charge. So at this address, my sister was scared and wouldn't give me the mail. So then I went to the post office and put holes, and the post office wouldn't honor the holes. So I called the police on the post office, which that's a felony, and the police cover for it. So to do it backwards of trying to get my life, each time I build my life back up, someone comes and interrupts it and robs me of everything I've worked to get. And all parties in my environment condones it and disregards it. So first, I know that you said as a mental health provider, I mean, if I can't talk to the mental health providers about being targeted and violated, that's what they're there for. You should be able to communicate. When I'm in mental hospitals, they won't let me talk about it. They don't give me therapy. Each environment covers for it. So common sense would make the party believe that you have to have accountability for the person that's doing the violating, so the pattern won't repeat itself. It's just, if someone's not mentally stable and stalking and using the government and every party he can to contribute to abuse, it's going to continue until there's something done. So that's what it is about that, there's a lot of different. I remember the last conversation you said that I won't be able to take care of business. No one is doing anything regarding the people that are depriving me of taking care of business. Each time I try to come show up, interrupted, or either do it behind the scenes. You did communicate to me that you were going to give me the information you gave the APS. Are you there?
Is that what you want? Yes, hold on just a minute. Let me pull up.
Okay.
APS. It said that she reports several incidents of being violated by multiple agencies, including police departments, hospital, mental health agencies over the last several years. She requests that violations be reported for further investigation due to mental health disabilities. It is unclear if there has been actual incidents of exploitation.
Due to mental health disabilities. I'm sorry, did you say due to mental health disabilities?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so you cover for it?
No, you had said that because you're a mental health patient that it is required for us to report violations. Therefore, I wrote down that you requested that violations be reported for further investigations because of your mental health disability.
Okay, so you have access to my channel?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think?
I think that there are too many incidents where you claim that there has been exploitation.
Yeah, do you look at the descriptions where I give evidence of supporting evidence of my experience? Okay, so do you think that I deserve for the police to interrupt me reporting crimes going on with my phone? You think that's okay?
I don't think anyone deserves anything bad, but
I'm not being heard, ma'am. That was a question that we're disregarding and deflecting on. For me to go report crimes to my provider and the police come interrupt, you think that's okay?
I didn't say that's okay. I'm sorry that you've had these perceived experiences.
Okay, so for me to try to get a protection order and the police come interrupt, for me to be assaulted and arrested at a domestic violence organization, that's okay?
So I'm going to tell you this, Kiana. My reality and what I'm perceiving and what I'm seeing objectively is completely different.
I'm not being heard, ma'am. It's a point blank. I have evidence. I can send it to you of how speaking with the person in internal affairs that admits that I was arrested at these locations. Now, if you're covering up for it and a conspirator of it, that's criminal. But I wanted to address, because if you're my mental health providers and all my people in my environment are covering for crimes for my abuser, that's criminal. So how despicable would that be if people you're going to pouring your heart out in emotional crisis conspire with it and want to deflect and condone it?
Janet, I'll tell you what I saw, okay? I saw that you posted our last
I'm not
conversation
being
on
heard,
YouTube.
ma'am. We're disregarding the felony crimes that the police have racked up and 2 children taken away from me out of corruption, which I can show you the videos right now. If you're enlisted to be a conspirator and cover up in criminal activity, that's criminal. Someone should not be able to enlist all people in my environments, especially people in mental health, to conspire, disregard, deflect, and do all the things that I've experienced for years. So once again, I can give you the information where, because how is therapy going to be if people are covering up for crimes, condoning it? I can send you the video where it shows where I was assaulted and arrested just for attending a domestic violence support group. And I'm sorry that you don't believe what's the video recording of it. What
Can I
about
please
getting
finish
threatened all the
your
time and getting threatened all the time and prank calls? 200 and some prank calls today. Did you see
Janet,
that?
can I finish? Can
I
I
just
finish
wanted
what
my
I have to
question
say?
answered because we're deflecting. Because if crimes are happening to me and people in my environment are covering for it, my abuser, that has to be felonies. So I want to concentrate on the evidence of me getting violated. Were you able to see where I was getting prank calls, 200 and 150 prank calls in one day, threatened? You didn't
Can
see
I
all of
finish
that?
what I saw?
I'm
Can
sorry?
I finish what I
I wanted you to
can
answer
I
that
finish
question.
what I
For years, ma'am, I asked questions and people deflect on the question and answer questions that I didn't ask. I would like to get an answer of, did you see where I was getting threatened? Prank calls. I would like to get that question answered before you deflect and go to something else, ma'am. Can you please answer if you saw where I was getting threatened and all the prank calls?
No, I did not.
Okay. Well, I go ahead and check out the channel a little bit better and look in the descriptions, and it gives evidence of my experience. Have you ever heard of a welfare check? A
Can I
welfare
say
check?
something without being interrupted? Can I finish something
I
without
would
being
just wanted to
interrupted,
get my
please?
point across, ma'am, before you go to another location. Have you ever heard of a welfare check?
I have given you plenty of time to finish your sentences. Can I please finish my train of thought as well?
Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you. So I saw the video that you posted about the last conversation that we had, and what I'm seeing is that you posted it as another controlled environment. I am not a part of a controlled environment. I'm a psychiatrist
We're deflecting,
working
ma'am.
as
I get it. I get it. You've already communicated that. What I asked you was about.
I asked you to finish. I asked you
I
to
already
finish my
understand that.
initial.
Why do you have to waste time and answer that? I like to give you education on my experience because you're thinking that they're delusions. So I'm trying to help you have evidence. I'm not quite sure if you're covering for it, which would be criminal. And how sick is that if mental health providers are enlisted in abuse and cover up like they have been for years? So I'm trying
The
to help
last
you see,
situation
as
of
my
our
mental health
conversation.
provider, what I'm being violated so you can give me treatment regarding that. And that's a lawsuit for malpractice for treating me for delusions, and this is really happening. And that's what's been happening. That's a lawsuit. You can't take bribes and then lie to someone like that's what's been done years and then condone abuse and criminal racked up felonies for years. Though there's consequences for that.
I don't know that we're ever going to meet eye to eye because
I
we
just,
are
if
completely.
this was not a controlled environment, ma'am, you would let me communicate and give you evidence of how I'm being violated instead of continue to cover for it and distract and go in other avenues to not get evidence that I'm being violated. I would like to communicate with you first before we discard or distract or go to another location, give you evidence to show so you know that I'm being violated and you can treat me regarding that and not covering up for it and treat me regarding real experiences being delusions. I think that
So
that's
I
imperative that we come to a common ground for you to get the evidence you need to be able to treat me regarding my experience of trauma and being targeted.
the
So
evidence that
first, like once again,
is
I think that you need to take a look at these videos so we can be on one accord. That's what I
and
was
I watch
trying to
these
do.
videos and I see
I'm
that
sorry?
why I watch these videos and what I'm seeing is that you're dealing with paranoia, an extreme version of paranoia. Okay, that's what I see. That's what I see from your videos. It's paranoia, and that's what I'm trying to help you with. I think your
Okay,
paranoia
so
is
all the prank calls, like Adrianne
there.
said, all the prank calls and multiple false arrests is paranoia. Well, I don't perceive that anyone will change. They haven't got. You've been getting away with this years. No one has got their charges. So what about the prank calls?
So but the common denominator I'm seeing is that
You don't want to comment on the prank calls, ma'am? So since I'm mentally ill and paranoid, people deserve to call me 200 times a day in prank calls. I deserve that, ma'am. Or you want to disregard that?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so the 200 prank calls. What about the people threatening me all the time? Were you able to take a look at that? I deserve that because I'm paranoid.
I don't see any threats being made.
I'm sorry.
I don't see any threats being made, but I think we're not going to get to a place where there's mutual understanding, unfortunately.
I'm just trying to get clarity, ma'am. You are my. I don't know if all mental health providers don't want me talking about crimes being committed. I thought that was part of me on my healing, to be able to give you the information and both of us to make decisions based on reality and what's going on. And if I'm informing you about abuse and prank calls and all of this, I don't know why you would condone it and want to emphasize me being paranoid. So if I'm paranoid, I deserve for people to prank call me and threaten me and do all of that. I'm prank calling. Since I'm prank calling you, I deserve for people not to follow the family code and take my kids away and won't even tell me why they did it. So you want to emphasize the paranoia and you don't want to address the crimes that have been committed. Is that what's going on?
No, ma'am. What I'm saying is that the paranoia is clouding your
I'm
reality.
not being heard, ma'am, because I wanted to address the crimes, the felonies that were racked up, and we're not talking about those once again. So if you think that you think because I'm paranoid, I deserve for felonies to be racked up to keep me away from my kids, you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about the paranoia once again.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that what you're experiencing is a different version of reality because of the paranoia.
I'm not being heard. The prank calls and all that information that's on my channel, you think I deserve that because I'm paranoid? For police to not investigate? Okay, for my hack phone, for police to enforce it and come 4 or 5 police to come interrupt me on my hack phone, you think that I deserve that because I'm paranoid?
You're putting words into my mouth.
I'm just trying to get clarity on what your opinion is, because we're not addressing that crime. We're addressing me being paranoid. And I just want to understand if my mental health provider condones me being violated and deprived of even my right to go report crimes going on with my phone without police interrupting it. If indeed someone is enlisting mental health providers to be conspired with cover up and abuse, once again, that is criminal and it's been going on years and I haven't been able to intercept it. So if it's already paid and bought, I don't perceive anything to change. Okay, ma'am, I'm paranoid. Okay, I got it.
I don't think that you deserve anything bad, but I think that there's nothing that we can do to convince you that what our reality that we're seeing is completely different than yours, unfortunately. Going back to the medication, like any adjustments or...
Okay, well, can you explain why people have blatantly lied on me? Like at CPS, did you see that video, CPS Arlington? Did you see how the Metro PCS worker blatantly lied? But I was recording the whole thing, so she got caught in a lie.
I can't tell you why other people do what they do.
Okay, you just condone it, and I'm paranoid. Okay. Well, at least I'm not getting handcuffed right now and hauled off in corruption.
Okay. So can we make sure we get our blood counts done as soon as possible? Can we go by the lab and make sure our blood is checked so that we can make sure your white blood cell counts have gone back up?
Okay.
Is that something that we can do? Okay. So you said you could do that Monday?
Yes.
Okay. In terms of the Seroquel, do we need to make any changes?
Okay. No. So I have a question? Okay. So here's the problem. In my therapy and with the mental health treatment, they're all condoning my experience and blaming me for it. So I feel like it's compromised because everywhere I turn, like they tried to intimidate me and bully me last time getting therapy with security. And then at another location, they did it. So I'm just saying, if my environments are repetitively compromised, how would that make one feel? You can't even have therapy in therapy without it being compromised. And what I wanted to say was therapy in peace. So each time I'm going, to pour my heart out, they're covering for it. That doesn't make me feel good. I don't know how to interrupt that. I'm being treated, which is a definite lawsuit for malpractice on delusions, and I'm traumatized and have trauma from the experience. But I'm not treated on that. I'm treated on lies for cover up. I want to interrupt that and be treated for what I'm experiencing.
Okay, and we've tried to help you with what you tell us that you're experiencing.
I mean, you have a YouTube channel. I'm trying to give you the education and the avenues on which you can see evidence of my experience, but all parties cover for it. And I don't understand why intimidation, I have to have therapy with intimidation. Why I just can't have, that's criminal. But we're not addressing those crimes. Everywhere I go, they just want to talk about delusions. So I hope that in the future, with mental health providers, I will be heard and be treated on what I'm communicating, and not lied on and told that they're delusions. So people can get away with wrecked up felonies.
I'm sorry we're not able to help you in the way that you would like. Do you have any questions for me? Is there anything else before we end this conversation?
No, but once again, you think that police coming, which is recorded to interrupt me reporting crimes with my cell phone, that's paranoia?
I think there's a lot of paranoia.
Okay, so the paranoia is when the police came to interrupt me for reporting my cell phone, issues with my cell phone, that was paranoia.
I don't know about that specific situation, but I know in talking with you about our work, there is definitely paranoia there.
I just don't understand why we can't concentrate on wrecked up felonies. Why I can't just show you the wrecked up felonies and the crimes, and why you just want to enforce paranoia. Why I just can't prove to you my experience, and that way we can be on one accord. But I think that someone, like I said, is compromising the situation, and it's not going to happen until people are held accountable. Okay, I have to get treatment for that. I cannot get normal treatment like other people on what I'm experiencing. You have to cover up for the felonies. Okay, I got it.
I'm really sorry that you're suffering, Kiana.
Okay, so you said in the can you send me what you sent to the APS?
Yeah, I'll make a printout of the report, okay?
When will I get it?
When can you come up to the clinic to pick it up?
I wanted it emailed.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I would prefer that you I don't send emails out to the patient. Can you please pick up a copy of the clinic?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Said I do not email my patients. Can you please pick up a copy of the letter at the clinic?
I don't have access to get all the way there. Can you text it?
No, I do not text my patients either.
Okay, well, you can go ahead and finish telling me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. You can go ahead and tell me what you sent if you can't send it, because I don't have access to get up there. They've completely changed the procedure and what they were doing for me. I'm being punished now that I reported the abuse, and they're minimizing any transit out of corruption. So most of the time when I report abuse, I get punished in my environments. So they're not, like I said, yeah, they're.
What that you're recording us against what our
I'm not being heard. I
really
recorded them because active crimes were being committed, and staff shouldn't be covering for crimes I'm experiencing. Those are felonies, and all they want to talk about is cover up. We're just not, like you said, we're not going to be on the same page because you're covering for the crimes. So once again, if you can just go over what you reported to APS, we're not going to be on the same accord. Your objective is to cover up, like it's been for years. We're not going to be on the same accord because these crimes are enforced.
Let me tell you what I reported. Let me tell you what I reported.
I don't want that, ma'am. I'm pressed for time. I just want you to go over what you reported to APS, since you don't want to send it through email.
Okay, and then I gotta go after.
Okay, no problem.
So,
I understand.
Okay, so the question was, when did the incident happen, and to provide like a time frame. So this is what I put down on my report to APS regarding your claims. I said that she reports several incidents of being violated by multiple agencies, including police department, hospital, mental health agencies over the last several years. requested that violations be reported for further investigations due to mental health disabilities. It is unclear if there have been actual incidents of exploitation, but she has perceived multiple incidents of trauma and violations. That's what I put down on the report.
Okay, she has perceived. Perceived.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, my family covers for it. No one has gotten down to the bottom of why all people in my environments are committing crimes.
All right.
Okay,
I
ma'am.
gotta get
These are
going.
charges. Okay, ma'am. People have yet to get them. This isn't just a little minimal thing. This is conspirators and cover up, which are felonies. This is a crime. Okay, ma'am.
I'm so sorry that you're suffering, but please make sure you get your blood counts done, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. You take care of yourself. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.